திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஆடும் வரிவேல் அணி சேவல் என பாடும் பணியே பணியாய் அருள்வாய் தேடும் கயமா முகனை செருவில் சாடும் தனி யானை சகோதரன். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். அண்ட சராசரங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அதிபதியாக விளங்கக்கூடிய முருகப்பெருமானுடைய ஒப்பற்ற பெருங்கருணையினாலே ஞானத்திரளும் சென்னை ஐசிஎஃப் கமலவநாயக சத்சங்கமும் இணைந்து மிகச் சிறப்பாக வழங்குகின்ற நாயன்மார்களுடைய வரலாறு ஆங்கிலத்திலே நாம் தொடர்ந்து சிந்தித்து வருகின்ற பாங்கிலே இன்றைய தினம் மேலும் ஒரு நாயன்மாரை சிந்திப்பதற்கு திருவருள் கூட்டியிருக்கிறது. In Tiruttonda Togai, gifted by our beloved Sundaramurti Swamigal, he had listed 63 Nayanmars. As a matter of fact, he had listed 60. Subsequently, Nambiyandar Nambi added 3 more, including Sundaramurti Swamigal and his parents. So altogether, there are 63 Nayanmars. And Nambiyandar Nambi devoted one sonnet for each Nayanmar to explain the ardent devotion of the Nayanmars. And later on, in 12th century, Devachirkular, the then Prime Minister of the Chola Kingdom, was requested to elaborate the history of the Nayanmars by the then king Anabaya Chola. So he used that line and he composed the entire Periya Puranam, elaborating the details of Nayanmars. The gift cannot be described for its fame and name, because Devachirkular has done a marvelous service. He has done, a wonderful service. He had traveled through the country, collected information, composed them to give authentic information about the Nayanmar. As a matter of fact, whenever we describe the biography of a Nayanmar, we will be moved by the feel and may go beyond the limits or beyond the facts. It's natural, isn't it? But Devachirkular kept himself to the limits. He only gave room only for the real information, unless otherwise he was convinced by the information, by the details. He didn't include them in his book. That is why historians are taking Periya Puranam as the reference for so many description of historical details in Tamil Nadu. No other Bhakti Ilakyam has been taken for reference by the scholars, historic scholars. Only Periya Puranam is being taken because Devachirkular felt the responsibility of giving out the details so that it stands forever. Now it is standing as a very big asset for Saivats. Since he has taken so much of pains to depict the details of the Nayanmars, we were at a loss to lose any information on the Nayanmar's history. Sometimes if you go to any temple or place, in the Nayanmar connected to the temple will be described in the Thala Puranam of the respective temple and the respective city or town. But those informations, those details may not be found in Periya Puranam, because Deva Chekadar deliberately omitted them to be included in his Periya Puranam, because he thought those details were not authentic. Of course, for our pleasure and joy, we may go through the details and enjoy ourselves of the devotion of the Nayanmars. For example, if you take Tiruvarur Thala Puranam, there are so many details of Sundarar in the Thala Puranam which may not be found in Periya Puranam, because Thala Puranam didn't take the pain of justifying the details or looking for the proofs of the incidents. But whereas Deva Chekadar, whenever he described an incident, he would be looking for a witness, a justification for the happening or the occurrence that he is going to explain in his epic. So likewise, the real life led by the Nayanmars is today delightful to all the devotees of Saivas. In Saivam, it has been included as the 12th Tirumurai. It starts with Triyana Sambandhar's work as the first Tirumurai and goes on up to 12th being done by our Deva Chekadar. All the 11 Tirumurais are about Lordship, are about Lord Shiva and his fame and his great deeds and his great qualities, 8 qualities. All these works are only pertaining to them. But whereas the 12th Tirumurai is pertaining to the fame and the glory of the Shiva devotees. So it's an exclusive epic. That is why all Saivats are keeping Periya Puranam on their head, and they are celebrating. What to say. They think that it is the greatest asset that has been gifted by Lord Shiva to them. In Periya Puranam, some of the devotees' fame has been described in Periya Puranam, who have dedicated their lives to the service of Lord Shiva. Some of them have spent their whole lives for the service rendered in a temple or for Lord Shiva or pertaining to a particular temple or putting on lamps, so many things, collecting flowers, gathering flowers for Lord Shiva's puja. So like that they may be doing some service in the garden or in the temple itself. Likewise, their service will be pertaining to Lord Shiva. There is another group of Adiyars whom they will render their service not directly to the Lord Shiva, but they will be rendering service only to the Adiyars. They will be looking for the service required by Shivanadiyars. They will be seeking. They will not wait to the Adiyar to come over to him and get the help. They will be going around, they will be seeking, they will be searching, they will go in search of ideas, and they will be very glad to render the service. See, the devotion is to the extent of even sacrificing their lives for the service. So, like this, two group of ideas, their services have been explained in Periya Puranam. That's why Sundaramurti Swami in Tiruttondathavai, he uttered Adiyen, Adiyarku Adiyen, Adiyarku Adiyarku Adiyen. Likewise, he would be spelling, because he says that I am a disciple, I am a devotee of the devotee of Shiva. I am a devotee of Shiva. I am a devotee of devotees. So, devotee of Lord Shiva, devotee of devotees. So, likewise, two categories have been very beautifully explained in Periya Puranam. Like today, we are going to see the life history of one Adiyar, incomparable service rendered by our beloved Eribatha Nayanar. So the incident that Periya Puranam he had explained, the Devachakra had explained in respect of the history of Eribatha Nayanar, took place in the Chola kingdom. Chola kingdom, they were changing their capital often. It seems if we go through the history, you can see that some of the Cholas, they were very particular in changing the capital from Tiruvarur to Padayare to Tanjore. Likewise, altogether, if you go to the history of Chola kingdom, there were 6 capitals of the Chola kingdom ruled by Chola kings. Out of which Karuvur was one of the capital of Chola kingdom. Karuvur, now known as Karur, it is in Kungunadu, in Coimbatore district, Kungunadu. It was a very flourishing town, full of paddy fields, sugar cane, and everything was there. People were wealthy and were happy, and there was a big temple in that city. Even today, it's a famous temple, Karur Anilai. It is being called Karur Anilai Appar. So, at that time also, it was a very famous temple, and people were rendering the service to Lord Shiva there in so many ways. See, service means you must understand that we are not copying work done by others. See, you render a service whichever is suitable to you and whichever is adaptable to you, and do the service sincerely without any hindrance, without any break. That is the important point. See, not everybody would be trying to give meals for the adiyars. Some of them were washing the clothes of adiyars. Some of them were supplying clothes for the adiyars. So likewise, service is, you must understand that whatever is possible, not impossible things should be done by adiyar. Nobody did any impossible thing. Everybody took the service within the reach, which can be within the reach. They took it as a service. That service they rendered sincerely. That is very important thing. It is irrespective of a thing that you are undertaking. Whether you are doing it sincerely, it matters. Honestly, it matters. So likewise, in Karur, in pertaining to the temple, so many adiyars were rendering so many services. There was one adiyar called Sivakami Andar. Sivakami Andar, he rendered the service of plucking the flowers, gathering them in a basket, in a neat atmosphere, with sanctity. He would be going to the gardens in the early morning before the sun rises. He would be gathering flowers in a basket. He would be very neat, wearing neat clothes, and he would be chanting 5-lettered mantra when he collected the flowers. He would be always thinking the glory of Lord Shiva. Likewise, he was gathering flowers and was rendering the service, doing the service for Anilayapar continuously. There was one more adiyar in Karur. He was called Eribatha. Of course, he was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. But he was a devotee of devotees of Lord Shiva. In that he was feeling very happy and was rendering service to the devotees of Lord Shiva. As I had already told you, he would be going around the town in Karur, seeking whether some adiyars require any help, or whether some adiyar was put into hardship, whether they are facing any obstacles, difficulties, whether there were some force, enemies for adiyars, abstaining them from doing the service. So those things he would be going in search of them. The adiyars need not call them, shall call him. He would be going around the town, city in search of any help wanted by any adiyar. If the adiyars are recurring the service, nobody will know how he appears in the scene. He will be there, he will be present there, asking them what sort of help they want. So likewise, Eribatha would be rendering the service. The one more main feature, one more main thing that is to be appreciated or to be known is that he would be always carrying a hand axe. In Tamil it is called a maru. It's a weapon, of course. So he would be going everywhere with that hand axe, because he doesn't know at what time, at what place the adiyars may require his help. So he will be always ready. So Adiyars, when they were doing service, they would be ready for everywhere, every time. That is called service. Upper, you can see him always with the Udavaram. That is called the Udavaram. It's a tool to clean the place, the ground, any other place, culling out the stones and mud. Likewise, so if you see a reporter, you will be always with a camera. Nobody knows at what time of point a news will appear, what time a photograph is to be taken. He will be ready with a camera wherever he goes. Likewise, any Adiyar rendering service, they would be ready for service at any time with their respective tools. Likewise, here also, Eribatha was holding always the hand axe with him. Wherever he went, he would be taking the axe with him. And everything was going on nice until one day. See, the king was in Karur. He was there in Karur. That king name was Cholar. As we have seen, the people are following Saivam. They are very much fond of devotion. They are performing their puja duties. Everybody thinks performing puja is their duty. That's very important. See, people should not be thinking that performing puja is optional. It is mandatory. Every day, it's mandatory that they should perform puja with the minimum things they have. With the minimum things they have. There may not be a lamp, there may not be even flowers, no problem. But perform the puja. So it's a mandatory. Likewise, performing pujas is considered to be mandatory, means we must attach the credit to the rulers. That is a big, see in Pandya Nadu, that is Tamil Nadu. The king followed Samanam, Jain. So very people followed Jainism. It is a natural thing. When the rulers, it is very difficult. The rulers influence the people, their mood, their way of life, definitely. Likewise, since Cholar, the ruling king, as a matter of fact, he was the descendant of Chola king, the great Chola king Karihal, was the descendant. A brave king, a very brave king, was ruling the Chola kingdom, east and west, north and south, with a beautiful ruling concept. He dedicated himself, the whole thoughts, his whole life to Lord Shiva. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. And not only that, he was an ardent devotee of devotees, Shiva devotees. Think of the era. It was a golden era, isn't it? Living in that atmosphere, living in these circumstances will be a boon. Is it not? So likewise, the king was in the capital, The mahuts of the king's elephant, they would be taking the elephant for a bath every day in Amaravati river. The branch of Kaveri river is called Amaravati. Still it's going through Karur. it's only Kaveri, but the branch of Kaveri. So in Amravati, the Mahouts would be taking the elephant for a bath every day, every blessed day. When it goes to the bath and when it is coming back, it would be going through the streets of Karur. It was a usual practice that the elephant would be taking through the streets before it was taken to the custody in the palace. One day what happened, there were about 5 Mahouts. See the importance of the king's elephant is importance attached to king himself. It is a symbol of pride, the elephant. So the elephant was taken by the Mahouts for the bath as usual. It was a special day, of course, the day before Navami, a festival day. The elephant was taken to the Amravati river by the Mahouts. After completion of the bath, the elephant was returning. When it was coming back, it was in a merry mood. To be frankly saying, it was going in the street here and there. Of course, it was being led by Mahouts. The elephant was virtually out of the control of Mahouts. They were very afraid of the elephant because it is the pride of king, isn't it? So they cannot take control of the elephant as other elephants. So they were also running behind it. It was going into the streets with a merry mood. When it was negotiating a curve and was going entering in a street, there our K.Sivakumar was there. That morning he went to the garden, collected the flowers, uttering 5-lettered mantra, thinking the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and he thought the whole life has become meaningful for rendering this service to Lord Shiva. So he was chanting. He collected all the flowers in a neat basket, and as a matter of fact, it was strung to a pole which he was holding on the shoulder. So the basket was, as a matter of fact, hanging from the pole, and it was not only hanging, it was swinging here and there, likewise. Somehow or other, on seeing it, the elephant got irritated. It was coming behind. Our K.Sivakumar was going in front without knowing. The mouse was shouting, "Leave the passage, the elephant is coming, leave the passage." He was shouting, but it was too late. The elephant, when it reached K.Sivakumar, the rear side, when it witnessed the swinging of the basket, the irritated elephant just took the bag, plugged it, as a matter of fact, from the pole, and all the flowers were scattered, strewn away in the streets, and it threw the basket to some place. Before understanding what has happened, he was taken aback. K.Sivakumar was taken aback, and it was passing. Bewildered and was sorrowful, K.Sivakumar. He was running behind the elephant to beat it. Can he do it? Such a massive mountain like elephant was running, as a matter of fact. The old man cannot do anything. He was weeping, crying. His eyes were shedding tears. He stamped on the ground, fell down on the ground. Oh, what has happened? The flowers meant for Lord Shiva strewn away in the streets. I am a sinner. He was shouting like that and weeping. And he was beating the ground and shouting, and he was uttering so many things to Lord Shiva, Karur Anilayapar. Oh my Lord, you have saved your devotees at the time of their grievances. When they faced difficulties, you appeared before them and you saved them. You saved Markandeya. Your mercy could not be fathomed, people say. But what has happened today? I am here weeping. There is nobody to hear my voice. I have gathered flowers. I am a sinner. I am not able to fetch these flowers to your Sannidhi. Oh my Lord, he was weeping. At the time, our Eribatha with the hand axe appeared in the scene from nowhere. On seeing the Adiyar weeping, he was asking, why you are crying? Why you are crying? What has happened? Tell me. Nayanar, looking at him, told that he was taking flowers for puja to Anilayapar, Karur temple. But the elephant, the king elephant, it just strewn away the flowers, plucking it from me. So I failed in my duty to perform the puja. The Archakas, the Gurukul, they will be waiting for me flowers. So what to do? So he was weeping. Immediately Eribatha asked which side the elephant moved. Then he showed the direction. In that direction rushed our Eribatha, saying that, let me see how the elephant escapes out of this sin. I would be punishing it to the core. He was murmuring and rushed towards the elephant. When he turned a corner, he saw the elephant moving very fast. He was running very fast and jumped over the elephant. The mouse were taken aback. The elephant turned and tried to throw our Eribatha, but Eribatha somehow or other managed his balance, and he took the axe and he caught hold of the trunk of the elephant and he just cut it. The elephant was falling on the ground, flooding in the blood, and the Mahuts, on seeing it, they were all coming in fight. But Eribatha faced them also and killed all of them. Elephant was punished. The people who didn't control the elephant were also punished. Everybody was punished at the scene. People were astonished. They were at a loss to know what to do. One of the patrolling guard, he rushed to the palace, told the security guard in the palace that some people have killed the elephant, king elephant. Because he didn't know the details, he just told some people. That fellow went inside, met the king, bowed before him and told him, "Sir, your king, your elephant, our king elephant, our Pattatti Yane, that elephant was killed by our enemies." He told. Pugachodar was not able to believe his ears. How an enemy can enter this territory and how can he come to the streets of my kingdom and kill my elephant? Who can do this this deed? Let me see it. Without informing anybody, he jumped onto his horse and he rushed to the spot. See him rushing out, all the ministers, they also followed him, the respective horses, instructing the army to follow. The whole battalion was following. The king was rushing to the spot. The elephant was found on the ground in the pool of blood, dead, and mahouts were strewn all over. They were also dead. Without alighting from the horse, the king roared like a lion. Who did this deed? He roared like a lion. He was able to see Eribatha also there. Till that time, Eribatha didn't try to escape. He was very much there. He was expecting, because he wants to, as a matter of fact, our adiyars will never run away from the scene. Likewise, our Eribatha was also there, very much there with the axe in his hand, the blood dripping from the axe. He didn't go away. The king on seeing him didn't ask him anything, because he thought he is an adiyar with holy ash applied on his forehead and whole body. He was wearing rudraksham, so he was our adiyar. He would not have done this cruel thing. Somebody would have done. So likewise, he was on the horse, he didn't alight. He was roaring, nobody answered. One god came over near the king and told, "Sir, the man with the axe there, he did everything. He killed your elephant. He killed your mahouts." On hearing this, Pugachodar was not able to believe his ears. How could this have happened? If an adiyar has done like this, means something wrong has happened. Unless otherwise, the adiyar will not do like this. An adiyar will not do like this unless otherwise the punishable things have happened. So something had happened. That is why he had punished all these things. So let me approach the adiyar and bow before him and ask him what has happened. Immediately he asked every battalion, army, armed people to go back. He asked them, instructed them to go away from the scene, to get back. Then he alighted from the horse. He was gently, slowly, smoothly was approaching our Eribatha. He neared him and asked him, "Sir, what happened? I can see my elephant has been killed and 5 mouths have been killed. Please tell me what has happened. Something has happened to raise your anger. That is why you have done like this. May I know what has happened actually? Can I have the privilege to know the things that have happened here. He was asking very politely. You think he was the king of the entire Chola kingdom, and he was so much politeful, because before an Adiyar, any king, any rich man will be only a small thing, because they don't give they don't regard the wealth as the wealth itself. Only Sivaperuman's grace is the wealth should be achieved. So those who have achieved that wealth, they are rich, not other people, not monetary things. So that is why the king bowed before himself, before our Eribatha, and he was requesting him, kindly tell me, sir, what has happened. Eribatha explained, sir, see, this man Shivakami Andar, he used to wake up early morning every day. He would be going to the garden meant for Lord Shiva only, and he would be gathering flowers and taking them to the puja of Avanilayappan. Today also he collected flowers, and with all his thoughts dedicated to Avanilayappan, he was carrying the basket to the temple. At that time, our Mahuts were leading the elephant after the bath through the streets. Your elephant was uncontrollable. So it was arrogant. He took away the basket and strewed the flowers on the streets. The Mahuts, they failed in their duties to control the elephant and to prevent such an incident. So, for the mischief, for their own thing done by the elephant, I have to punish them. So I killed them. This is what happened. He expected that king will get wild. Eribatha expected the king may get wild. But what happened was an astonishing thing for Eribatha, because the king told, sir, considering the grievous mistake done by the elephant and by Mahus, the punishment you gave is not enough. You must punish me also. I am also responsible for the mistake, somehow or other, directly or indirectly. A grievous mistake has been done in my kingdom. All Adiyars are considered to be Lord Shiva itself, himself. So in that aspect, this elephant and Mahus have done sin to the Lord Shiva. So it is punishable. What you have done is right, but the punishment is not enough. Sir, I am not fit enough to be slayed by your Madhu. So don't use that action. Please take my sword and kill me. That would be the real punishment that you have rendered for the thing that has happened. Saying that, removing the knife from his waist, he was bowing before him, and as a matter of fact, he prostrated before him. He was lying on the ground, head to toe, touching the ground before him. The entire mood of Eribatha changed. His whole anger is gone like the dew before the sun. Oh, I thought I had done some service to the Adiyar, but I had done a great sin to one of the Adiyars. See, the king is standing before me. The king is asking me to punish him. The king understands the volume of the mistake. He, as a matter of fact, he went to the extent of punishing himself, not by himself, but by the Adyar itself. So, wherever you go, you cannot find such an Adyar. When Puvachoder, the king, is considered, nobody could stand before him, before his service. Considering his merit, his wealth, his position, the level he has come down cannot be imagined. He came to a decision. He just got the sword from the king. Just got the sword from the king because he thought if the sword is not taken from the king, king would be trying to kill himself. So the king should not get killed there. So I should first take away the knife from him. Secondly, I have done sin to the Adyar. I have done a mistake to the Adyar, a grievous mistake I have done. Because such an Adyar cannot be found wherever you go. The whole country you cannot see like him. He was put under sorrow, under grief. His elephant has been killed by me. His mouse have been killed by me. I have not done the right thing. The king would have punished even if I have not punished them. So I have done some miserable thing to my king, some Adyar. So it is the right thing to punish myself. So he was putting the sword taken away from the king, and he was holding it near his neck to shear it off. Immediately understanding the situation, the king held the hand of Eribatha. What you are trying to do? Oh, I am lost. He was holding the hand, and at that time a voice was heard in the sky. Oh, devotees whose deep love and devotion of the Lord deserves a proclaim in this world. So to bring out the fame and name of Eribatha and at the same time Puvachoder, both are remarkable devotees. The king wanted to, the Lord Shiva wanted to bring out the devotion of the king and also Eribatha, both of them, how they are sincere, how they are dedicated, all those things. See, when the devotee is dedicated and if his devotion is to be brought into the light of others, Lord Shiva will come into the life, enter into the life, and he will play and enact a play like this. That is how here also it has been done. The voice uttered that your fame and name will last forever in this world. Everybody was happy. At that time, what happened, you know? The dead elephant came to life. All the mouths also came to life. K.Sivakumar M.E was seeing that he was holding the basket full of flowers. Everybody, what has happened? Is there anything happened at all? Everybody doubted. Only on seeing the king and Eribatha, they have to believe the things that have happened. and Eribatha bowed. As a matter of fact, Eribatha prostrated before him, fell on his feet. Eribatha fell on the feet of Lord King, the King Purichodan. Purichodan was taken up. What you are doing? He prostrated. So both of them embraced, and Eribatha told, "Sir, I must see you on the elephant. I was very much sorrowful for what I have done at the time when I come to know your devotion. So please, you mount on the elephant. You must return back. You came on the horse, but you must go back to your palace on the back of your elephant. That scene I had to witness," he requested. Agreeing to his request, Purichodan mounted on his elephant. The trumpets were sounding like anything. Everybody was very happy, and the king was returning to the palace after waving his hand before Eribatha. So our Devachekar narrated this story, and he was saying that who can describe in full the devotion and the grace of Lord Shiva. The devotion of devotee cannot be explained by an ordinary man. The grace that comes towards this devotion by Lord Shiva cannot also be measured. Both of them cannot be fathomed by ordinary people. Only people gifted with grace would be knowing. Only adiyars can understand the real merit of the love and devotion of another adiyar. So I am just trying to explain what has happened. Devachekar says, I am just trying to explain what has happened at that time, but I have not explained in full. I have not explained in full. I just narrated what was imparted to me. So everybody was happy towards Eribatha. Eribatha, our Sivakami Andar proceeded towards the temple, and he was executing this service for many years. Eribatha was also there in Karur. He was also there for some more years. He was rendering service like that, and one day he was called upon by Lord Shiva to his world of to his abode, and where he was nominated as the in charge of Ganas, Gana Talaivar. In Tamil it will be said Gana Talaivar. In charge of Ganas, he was nominated. Eribatha was nominated, and with that Devachekar finishes this story saying that nobody can understand or nobody can measure the true, real, sincere love of an adiyar. So I am just worshipping their lotus feet. With this he finishes the history of Eribatha. We also conclude our episode on Eribatha Nayanar. Eribatharkum Adiyen, our Sundaramurthy Swamigal is reciting in Tiruttonda Togai. Likewise, the hearing of the services of Nayanmar will boost our morality and our love towards Lord Shiva. So we must have the practice of listening to the devotion and love of our adiyars towards Lord Shiva, their deeds, their services. We must be able to understand. We must be practicing, and we must take it as a practice to hear their life's histories, so that our morality, our love for Shiva will be boosted. So with this, I am just concluding. I am thanking Kamalamanda Satsangam and also the Qatar couple who have been actually in the background of all these services. See, I am just telling something in English means it is only because of them these episodes are arranged and being relayed in YouTube. So, kindly people who are witnessing it may pass on the information to others also. And I am also just passing on one more information that you please subscribe to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. You can visit our site on Facebook, our site, and you will be informed so many details of our services we are rendering. All those things are there. I have written some books. There is a book in English, Gnana Kudandai, which you can gift for your children or your friends' children. Your children will be guided properly. They will be knowing the inner details of Saivam. They will be willing to wear the holy ash in their forehead once they go through the life history of Triyana Sambandhar. With this I am just concluding, and I am going to conclude this session with uttering piloted mantra 5 times. Kindly follow me, please. O Namah Shivaya, O Namah Shivaya, O Namah Shivaya, O Namah Shivaya, O Namah Shivaya. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தென்னாடுடைய சிவனைய போற்றி, என் நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி, வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு அரோகரா. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.